And we're back. Hey, everybody, it's your host, Darren Carter, the party starter. I will be on the road. If you're going to be in the Brea Improv area, I'll be in Brea, California, February 7th, Southern California. Come see me in Brea. They've given me a great opportunity, man. We did Ontario Improv, we did San Jose Improv, and now they're going to give me the Brea Improv. So please get your ticket. The link is in my bio. The link is on my link tree. If you go to official Darren Carter on Instagram, I'm coming to Brea. I'm coming to El Paso, Texas. Can't wait to get back to my Texas fans and friends. Yeehaw! And I'll be in Northern California, in Alameda, California. Alameda, I'll be there in March 22 and 23, Alameda, California, El Paso, Texas at the comic strip in February, and February 7th, Brea Improv. Just wanted to get the dates out the gates. I want to thank you guys again for coming back to the Pocket Party Podcast, and I want to give a shout out to all my loyal listeners, man. We've been doing this podcast for over 5 years, and we're going to keep kicking it up, and I appreciate the feedback. Anytime you guys share the links and leave comments and share the YouTube channel or share the podcast with a friend, even if you just tell one person about it, it helps. If you can tell two, it helps even more. But today we're going to be calling Mr. Mike Black. And he's a great comedian. You know him from the Comedy Store and also from the Pocket Party Podcast. He should be answering this phone. That's two links. Oh, there he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know that he's a party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, listen to our Pocket Party. Pocket Party.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Today is one of those days I got up early to take the car in to get work looked at, and it was like the best thing you could ever hear. The guy goes, "Oh, looks like you're low on steering wheel fluid," and he just poured the thing in and made the noise go away. So that was...
Oh, and that's it?
That was it. Well, I go back Mondays to see if he can find out where it was leaking from, but I was prepared to have the car there all day, and the fact that he was able to just pour some liquid in there and I could go on about my day. I was like, this is great. Now I'm up for no reason early. So I was like, so that's why I was all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And yeah, I was fully prepared to like walk around, go to a restaurant, take notes, work on my comedy, like just have my car sit at the shop for who knows how long. And then when he's like, yeah, just come back Monday. You know, we have less customers, so you got an appointment, you'll come right in. So then I was like, well, I might as well enjoy this day. And I went for a nice 7-mile hike this morning.
Oh, my God.
I know, but you have to build up to that. You can't just like start with day one, you know. But yeah.
Don't worry. I wasn't going to start.
You're like, it's a challenge, Mr. Black.
Yeah, that is not. I think I've hiked 7 miles total.
Yeah.
In my life.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things you got to build up to because I mean I know there's people that go even further. They're probably like 7. It's nothing. I do 12 or whatever. But
yeah, you know the story of Marathon, right? Where it got its name.
No, do tell.
It was an actual guy who ran that far, I think, to tell the Romans that they were being invaded.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, they need to know. And, you know, they didn't have phones or email or anything like that. So the guy was like, I guess I'm running. So yeah. he ran that distance, which is why it's called a marathon at that exact distance.
Wow. 26. Yeah. Isn't it like 26.2 miles or something like that?
Yeah. Got the message out and then dropped dead.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
But yeah, he was like the first guy to do that, you know.
He was probably yeah. He was probably stressed with the news the whole time too. Like, I got to get there and give him this news, and you know, he wasn't. Oh my gosh!
I mean, it makes Paul Revere sound like a pussy, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You were on a horse the whole time. What are you worried about? You know.
Yeah.
Do you remember the signals?
No, what were the signals? Oh, the British are coming? No.
Yeah, but like the lantern signals.
Oh.
It was one, if they're coming by land, when he got where he was going, he would put one lantern in the window, and 2 if by sea.
Dude, that's great.
It's one of the things I learned in 3rd grade that stuck for some reason.
You know what, man? You were like a good student. I could tell. You were a good student, I bet.
I was actually a terrible student. I had like a D average because I remembered stuff that I cared about.
Yeah,
but I also,
that's true. That's true. Like that.
Know,
yeah.
Like, but also there were a lot of things like that I knew. I just kind of looked at the way the world was going, and I was like, I'm not going to need handwriting.
Right, cursive.
Like as soon as I saw speak and spell, I was like, well, that's just the beginning. In probably 10 years, we're not going to need handwriting at all. Like, I don't need to learn cursive. I don't need, and like geometry. I was like, unless you're going into a specialized field.
Yeah.
I geometry one time since I've left school, and that was because I had a large pizza and another half a pizza and one square box to put them in.
Yeah.
And I was able to arrange the slices geometrically to where they all fit.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, this is it. This is what they were telling me about. They were like, you're going to use this one of these days. And that was the time.
Yeah. 1 if by driver, 2 if by I pick it up. No.
Right, exactly. And like, I was like, all that saved me was going, hey, do you guys have another box?
Yeah. Well,
that I can put the rest of this in?
That'd be funny to have signals on your window of pizza boxes. Like, oh, what is that signal? That means he has a party, and it means he's a party by himself.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because my son is he's getting all A's now. I mean, well, not even, I wouldn't say now. He's been doing it for a long time. But I see what it takes to get A's. And it's a lot of studying, a lot of late night doing the homework. Like, I mean, literally, dude, like he'll be, it's 11 o'clock and my wife's like, okay, it's time to go to bed now. And he's like, okay. Then he'll like set his alarm extra early so he can get up and finish like the final 3 questions. And I was like, dude, I didn't do any of that stuff, man. I would like wait till Sunday night. Like, oh, well, I got that homework due. I better do something.
Like, it made a little bit more sense when we were kids.
Yeah.
To do that. But now it's just pageantry, really. There's no reason for it. Then when are you ever going to be in a situation ever in your life from here on out?
Right.
Where someone goes, hey, you don't mind if I ask you about 50 questions and you're not allowed to use your phone?
I know.
That's never, unless you're on a game show, that's just not going to happen. You know?
Right, a game show. Right. Because for the most part, you don't need to memorize any of this stuff anymore, and that's all it is memorizing stuff, whether you want to or not. That was a big thing they would hold over our heads in math class. I remember they were like, you're not always going to have a calculator on you. How often are you going to have a calculator on you? You're never going to have a calculator. They would always say that. And then
what happened is mathematically things grew to a point where now everyone has a calculator on them all the time.
And dude, I don't even use the calculator on my phone. I just Google the question.
Yeah.
I'll go like let's say a room is like, okay, there's room for 330 seats and we'll charge them, let's say $25. So I'll just go Google 330 times 25 and it gives you the answer. And they'll go, and we'll have 40 seats to VIP. Okay, 40 seats at 35. Like, you just do it like that.
Yeah, and now there's an app for most of that stuff, like, tip calculator, room calculator, all that sort of stuff, that you can just put it into that.
It was funny. I was listening a little bit to Ozzy Osbourne. I guess he does a podcast also with a bandmate or a good old friend, and they were just talking about like all the changes that are happening. And his one friend was like, and now they got robots that literally deliver the food. Have you seen them on La Brea? The robot goes down the street and it does delivery, man.
Yeah,
and it is wild when you see it. Like, and they were talking about how with cell phones like back in the day, you'd go to a place and if someone said be there at 3 and if it was 3:05, they're gone, bloke. You missed them. All right, you would just get up and leave.
I have a feeling that's not exactly how it went down with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
He wasn't rolling in at 5 minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
He might have come on the wrong day. That friend might not exist.
Yeah.
There's any number of things could have happened with Ozzy Osbourne. Maybe that friend really liked bats and doves, and then word got out, and they were like, "I'm not having lunch with him."
Oh yeah, I remember and back to the math stuff. I think I took algebra like 3 times so I could finally get a D and pass or something. I was like, yes, finally, because I just was like not into like algebra,
Yeah, they had a course. They had one math course that I took that I agreed with, and it was called Practical Math.
Oh, that sounds good. I like the name of it.
And it was just basically like how to figure out tip and stuff like that. But even that one, I don't think that we never use math, but I don't think we use the math that we get taught. We're getting taught algebra and geometry and shit like that. Teach me how to crack the stock market.
Yeah.
Teach me how to decipher a bank loan or a car loan or, without totally getting screwed. Teach me how my credit card, why it charges the interest it charges, that sort of stuff. Stuff that could actually help people. But they don't really want to teach people any of that stuff because then we'd all be a lot more dangerous,
Yeah.
If we actually had money.
Exactly. And even with Google, you could Google stuff, but then you can also use AI. I think AI is next level of Google. You could Google, for example, my buddy's a comedy promoter, and he was Googling country clubs in the state of Washington. But he still has to Google and find out these lists, and then okay, where's that at? But with AI, you can put within 60 miles of Burbank, and then it came out with all columns, the name of the country club, the phone number, the address. It was wow, it just all in columns.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, that sounds so much better.
Yeah, it really is. It's
I do worry that one day AI is going to go self-aware, like in Terminator.
Yeah.
Where it truly understands things, and it just starts making up a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's this will keep the humans busy while the machines rise and take over.
I know. Hey, speaking of lists, I wanted to. There was this list going around a couple months ago, and I was like, "Oh, I got to talk to Mike about it." And I kept forgetting to bring it up, so I'm going to bring it up right away. Have you seen that? There was this viral. It was a list of places not to take a woman on a first date, and it went viral. I guess all these.
Do you have the list in front of you?
I do. So there's 28 things on this list, and
let's do the top 10 of them.
All right.
From 10 down.
Okay, here we go. This is. Let me know. Here's what you would. Let me ask you a question. Okay, here I'll just tell you the number one. Here's the number one: Cheesecake Factory.
That's where a woman does not want to go.
Does not want to go. Yeah.
I get it if she's paying.
Yeah, they're not paying. They're
but Cheesecake Factory is a wonderful place.
I think it's great.
If you're not paying, it's a magical place.
It's awesome. Here's what we should do. Here's what I was thinking. We'll name the thing, and then we'll do the pros and the cons. Hey, that's a good, right?
Okay.
So I'll say the pros of it. You're right. I love Cheesecake Factory. The atmosphere. They got good booths. They got that giant menu, and there's so much to choose from. And you're gonna whatever you want. They're gonna probably have a version of it at the Cheesecake Factory. If you like Thai food, I know there's a Thai pasta thing. If you like, tacos, I'm sure they have tacos there. Whatever you want, it's probably going to be at the Cheesecake Factory.
I am not interested in a lady that doesn't want to go to Cheesecake Factory.
Exactly. That's almost like a fancy date.
Because either she's going there all the time, which is just way too much for serious dating. Right. If she's getting asked out to Cheesecake Factory all the time, you're always looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
That means everyone's trying to bang her, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
If she's on first name basis with everyone at Cheesecake Factory, nope. That's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. She's like, they're like, oh, Carlos is here. Hi, Carlos. Like, oh, how often does she come
Yeah,
here,
she
man?
knows
Like,
everybody.
she knows everybody. You know.
This is from Mr. Cheesecake, and he brings over like a whole bunch of appetizers and stuff.
That's how Fraser and I, Fraser Smith, another great comedian. We get together and we do these writing sessions, and we oftentimes will go to the Smokehouse in Burbank, right by Warner Brothers, and we've gotten to know some of the wait staff very well. We're like, hey, there's George. Hey, there's Willie, and yeah, but we're there for business purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a little, funny if like, so, okay, on the,
and it's not like for a first date, I think it's a good mid-range sort of like place where you're not, the guy isn't going broke taking you to Cheesecake Factory, but he's also not taking you to Taco Bell.
Right.
I think that's crazy. That's number one on the list.
Number one. No, okay, so now I'll say the opposite. So the reasons not to go to the Cheesecake Factory, I guess I would say the line can be too long. Like there's one in Glendale, and the line is always long. The waiting list can be like up to 40 minutes. So I totally understand if a woman's like, I don't want to date a guy who was dumb enough to not make reservations at Cheesecake Factory. If you're waiting in line for an hour, it's like, okay, this person's undateable because they don't know how the world works. Yeah. Do you have any?
Is there a dish? Let me ask you this. This is a serious question. Have you ever been to Cheesecake Factory and ordered your meal and thought that it was terrible?
Never.
See, that right there. It's like, if they're going to Cheesecake Factory too much, or if they're such a crazy food critic that the stuff at Cheesecake Factory isn't good enough for them. Yeah, I can't.
Because wherever I travel, and if there's a Cheesecake Factory and I end up going in one, I'm always happy. I'm like, I got my little booth by myself, because usually I'm traveling by myself, and I'm like, I know what I want. I usually get that bang bang, whatever it's called, like that. I don't know what it's like, some kind of Thai thing, but I usually get that.
I think you're talking about something else.
Yeah,
sounds like something you get at a massage parlor.
I get the bang bang sucky sucky.
No.
I said sucky.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to Miami. I remember going to the Cheesecake Factory, and they had like this great, like, it was like you get 2 slices of pizza and a salad, and I'm like, oh, that's great. It just, I don't know. I love cheesecake. I'm Factory.
I love that you love it that much that you said, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Like no one had ever thought of pizza slices and a salad before.
Yeah. I was like, well, I wanted the slices, but I was like, the salad made me
How did
feel...
you guys come up with this?
We opened our eyes and looked around at other restaurants.
We were eating in the mall food court and saw that 8 different places had that.
Yeah.
We decided to do it.
Well, for me, it was perfect because I was like, I really wanted those pizzas, but then I was like, I'm going to feel guilty and be like, I should have a salad. But because it came with the salad, I'm like, this is the best of both worlds.
I hope you were saying that while you were eating it to the other tables that didn't want to hear it.
Right.
That guy's way too into this deal.
Dude, I remember that Cheesecake Factory because it was in Coconut Grove, and I remember like the waiter was telling me he was basically like a failed actor or something. He goes, yeah, I lived out in LA for a long time, and it didn't really work out for me, so I'm back here. And I was just like, God, this is kind of bumming me out a little bit. Like, yeah.
That's probably how he gets tips now. He's actually a really good actor,
right?
And just pretending his life is so awful that people are like, oh, I better tip him 25% instead.
Yeah, and thank God I have AI to figure out 25%.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, next on the list is Applebee's. A woman doesn't want to go to Applebee's. Do not take her on a first date to Applebee's.
She can go straight to hell. She can just roast in hell for all eternity. Applebee's is the best.
Yeah,
they're the best at being Applebee's or whatever,
Right.
Anything in the Chili's Bennigan's sort of range. I get maybe not a first date. It's more like a date night if you've been married for 30 years.
Yeah.
I kind of have to walk it back because a first date at Applebee's might not be the best move because you want a woman. I think, well, whoever you date, you want them to feel like you have a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
And Applebee's is about as far away from that as you can possibly get. That says safety. That says like you might have been a hall monitor when you were a kid or something.
Hey, I ironed my slacks for Applebee's. Right.
And also on a date, I get it from the male perspective of like, we're paying for everything, all that sort of stuff. But if you ever have to take advantage of a coupon or a special deal that they've got going on on a first date, that's a bad sign. If they're like, we do have the 2 for $25 menu here that we could take advantage of. Nope. Don't do that. It looks bad.
I wonder if there's a way you could do it, but like just pay up front. Like, hey, we're gonna get that 2 for $25 deal. Just don't bring the check to the table. Let's just do it now.
Here's where trouble comes into that plan. If you do that, you better tip the hell out of that waiter.
Oh.
Up front and be like, hey, we're gonna do the 2 for $25. Let her think she's ordering whatever she wants to order, but make sure heavily suggest the things that are in the 2 for $25.
Can I get the lemon cake? You know what? You know what's even better? No dessert. How about no dessert?
Madam, the sea bass is bad tonight. You should. I heavily suggest the
chicken fingers,
fajita macaroni or whatever.
Exactly.
And part of why it sucks is that half the things on that menu are garbage. They're not.
And you're like tapping the waiter's shin, like, dude, don't do that, dude. What are you doing?
And he only has so much power in that situation. It really is up to her if she wants to order something.
And then he just blows his stack, and he's like, "All right, fine. There's like 9 things you can order, okay? Because you're doing the 2 for $25. And by the way, I'm a failed actor. I used to work at Cheesecake Factory. Now I'm at Applebee's. Nothing's going my way."
I keep going down lower and lower.
Oh yeah, number 3 on the list.
Next week I'll be at Chili's.
That's number 3, Chili's. It goes Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's.
It's the same thing. You run into the same problem at Chili's.
I don't know if I could tell the difference between Applebee's and Chili's. I haven't been to both of them enough to where I could. Like if you blindfolded me and I was in a booth,
definitely
you could.
Yeah. But Chili's has more of a Tex-Mex sort of vibe. Just across the board, everything's a little bit more like, as the name implies, spicy.
Oh yeah, you'll look up and see a decoration of a red pepper.
Right. Yeah, and like all the cuisine is Tex-Mex style food. I prefer their food actually overall. Like if you get fajitas at Chili's and you're still having a bad time, get therapy. Because the fajitas there are out of this world. Like everything else is pretty good, but they serve them on like one of those sizzling skillets.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
And you can choose, I think you can do all 3, but they have like shrimp, steak, or chicken.
Oh, I like that.
And the steak and chicken, I don't know about the shrimp because I'm not a seafood guy, but they put like a lot of like spicy seasoning on top, and they serve them over grilled onions and peppers. And then they just give you all the equipment to make the fajitas. They're out of this world.
So if you were given a choice, let's say you're on a first date with a girl and she's like, hey, would you rather go to Applebee's or Chili's? You probably would choose Chili's?
I would choose Chili's overall, but I will say I love wings more than maybe anyone that I know.
Oh.
And I've had them at just about every place that offers them. Dependably, Applebee's has the best wings of any place. And that includes places that like specialize in it, like Buffalo Wild Wings or any of those. Just their traditional buffalo wings. I like them a little crispy. They do ones called double crunch wings. And it's the sauce they use, and the wings themselves are like good quality. They're not like all broken bones and shit, you know.
Oh yeah.
But the ones at Applebee's are consistently the best. And what I'll do, this is a fat guy move, that not everyone will tell you, is whatever you get, if you get fries and wings, ask for extra wing sauce, the buffalo wing sauce, and say, I'd like that like in a little to-go container. And then you never eat all your fries. I don't know anyone who eats all their fries there. Take the fries and the wing sauce. When you go home, the next time you want to eat something, you put the fries like on a baking sheet, like tinfoil, and then on top of a baking sheet.
Nice.
Then you drizzle the buffalo wing sauce over them and cook it for about 10 minutes but like put a little foil over the top too. And the buffalo wing sauce will kind of bake into the fries.
Oh man.
And it's out of this world.
That sounds really good. I had a hot sauce yesterday on some chicken, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Really
if
good.
It's a good hot sauce that's like, it's got a kick, but it kind of brings out the flavor of the meat or the whatever you're eating. That's really great.
Number 4. Here we go. So she doesn't want to go to Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's. First date, doesn't want to go to Chipotle.
Yeah, I agree with her.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one too. I'm like, it's not even.
I would say you go to Chipotle to break up with someone.
Yeah.
You know, because it's considerate, really, because you're going to a place that neither of you ever want to go again. Because it's terrible. It's just not good.
I remember I went to a Chipotle that opened, and maybe that's why, because they weren't experienced, but they didn't really they didn't really make the burrito good. It was just it was almost like a round kind of thing. It was like round, and it wasn't good, man. It's
Mexican food designed or curated by the whitest people in the world. It's so terribly
it's
bad.
Like, it's not really,
I've never ever gotten anything there that wasn't soggy as shit by the time I got to eat it.
Yeah, or you're eating the burrito and all the contents just fall out of the bottom. You're like,
everything falls out. They don't know how to fold it. Tacos are a lost concept to them. They put everything, all the toppings aren't like the way they are at like a Subway where they're cool.
Yes.
They're like frozen cold.
Oh, I was just going to say that. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And so then, like, even if you got like the hottest, let's say you got fajitas there because you're an idiot. You're like, I'll try the fajitas at Chipotle. Everything else they've done is so good.
Yeah.
So you get those. By the time you sit down to eat them, the tortilla is soggy as hell and is going to break. And the meat is like ice cold. They're gross. I think they're just terrible.
Yeah, not a good. Yeah, it's a good breakup spot. Here we go.
Yeah.
Next, Olive Garden. Never. She goes, do not take me to a first date to Olive Garden. Yeah.
Unless she smokes a lot of weed, then definitely take her to Olive Garden because she'll have the time of her life.
Yeah, don't you get like a bottomless breadsticks or something there? Or
Yeah, again, this falls under the don't do any deals category. Of like, hey, why don't we both get unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just gross. That's
like,
just
don't.
Idiots do.
Yeah, once you're in love and you know each other, then every now and then you're like, hey, but not as a first impression. Like,
to be fair, I like their breadsticks. Their salads are really, really good. That big Italian salad that has everything in it, and the soup. I don't really care for soup in general, so I don't think about it that much. But I've never naturally thought to myself, boy, I could go for some soup, salad, and breadsticks right now.
Hey, Mike, what are you doing Thursday? Let's meet at the Olive Garden.
I want to make sure that I get as much soup, salad, and breadsticks as I can possibly hold in my body. That's never occurred, you know?
Yeah, they
And soup also, on top of that, soup is an old lady food.
oh yeah, hey, want to get some soup together on our first date? Yeah,
Like seniors, you know.
All right, this one sounds personal because I have a feeling you've done this before, or you in this number 6. She says, "Do not take me to the movies."
Yeah, I've taken a lot of dates to movies, and I like it because you don't have to talk, and it gives you something to talk about afterwards. Like if you go to coffee afterwards, you can talk about the movie. You at least have a jumping off point.
Yeah, especially if it's something that you both are interested in, you know.
And it can be kind of intimate and flirty and stuff like that, depending on the movie theater. Don't pick like a movie theater like that has like rigid seats and stuff like that that are very
like
separated.
Like there was one in North Hollywood. You could see a movie for like $4, and it kind of attracts that $4 crowd. You don't want to go to that one,
right? You don't want that. There are ones, go to like one of the fancy like one of the art house theaters, or like what's the one? The Alamo Draft House is a good one.
Or like, what about those movies that, you know, I think that Quentin Tarantino one, like where they show like classic movies?
Yeah, the New Beverly. Yeah, if you find something that you know you both like.
Like if you're talking to her and you guys are the certain, you know, like my age group where you're like, hey, The Shining, Jack Nicholson. Oh yeah, you know, like so, like
yeah.
Well, maybe
I
not
don't know
The
if The Shining is a first date movie.
Yeah, exactly. She starts creeping away from you like, what kind of psycho is this?
I do. It's not like I don't have any empathy for the other side of this.
Yeah.
I understand that a lot of women have dated a lot of douchebags. And they've been like, hey, why don't we go see Reservoir Dogs? Okay, that's a guy movie.
Yeah.
That only guys are going to enjoy. Or like, let's go see Godfather. No, let's not go see Godfather.
Let's go see Rocky. It's playing again in theaters. Like,
it's like, yeah, these are great movies, but they're movies you see with your buddies, not.
Yeah.
And, you know, if The Notebook is playing, that's when you take a girl to go see, you know.
Yeah. Okay, here's the next one. Number 7, she says, I don't want to go to a first date at your house.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not a date. That's hooking up.
Yeah. Next one, any fast food restaurant, any fast food chain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough sell, even for me. Like,
yeah. Hey, there's this new McDonald's opening up. You want to go check it out? Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I appreciate fast food as much as just about anybody does, but no, that is a horrible, horrible move for a first date. Next
would be, but wouldn't you? Maybe that'd be the love of your life if you could get a girl to go to a fast food restaurant on a first date. Let me ask you this: if you could choose a fast food restaurant for a first date, and the girl was totally into it, which one do you think would be the best one to go to?
I would caution that girl has an agenda.
Oh.
Any girl that's psyched about going with you to Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out or Arby's or any of those places, and she's like, yeah, is hiding something. she has some deep-seated issues, or she thinks you're richer than you are and you're just doing this to throw off,
to downplay
other people or whatever, you know. But watch out for anyone. She might be a serial killer. There's any number of things that could be wrong.
I was going to say In-N-Out could be it, because it's the brightness of it, and like the colors, it's red and white and all the.
You know what? No. Here's why that's wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know of anybody that looks good in that light?
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking of it more like it's like I've gone there with friends or my son or my wife. You're right. Not right. A first date. Like
absolutely not. You see every flaw that anyone has.
Oh yeah, no one really looks sexy in an In-N-Out burger. You're just there to. It's more like hey, we just won our baseball game. Let's take the team out to In-N-Out. You know.
Even I'll tell you this. I was out getting gas, and I saw a girl who must have been maybe 25, and she had long curly red hair, and but she was wearing like uh, at first I thought she was like a gas attendant or something like that.
Yeah.
Because she had like work boots on and white pants and a white like button shirt.
Yeah.
And she was staggeringly beautiful. Like the kind of beautiful where you kind of want to intervene.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to pick up on her because I was like, that's not going to happen. But like when I looked at her, I was like, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
You should be like somewhere else doing modeling or something.
Yeah.
Like whatever you're doing that put you in this part of town at this time of night, stop doing it and find someone who can take some good pictures of you because you should be a star.
Right. You need to find someone that can take you to Cheesecake Factory.
Exactly. And so then a week later, I go to In-N-Out in that same area. And the girl behind the counter is waiting on me. And after a long time, it dawns on me that it's the same girl.
Oh, wow.
Only she has like a backwards, her hair's like tied up, because she's at work. She's
got that giant diaper thing on that they have, that diaper pin they wear.
Right. In the robe, not the robe, the frock or whatever it is that they have them wear.
Yeah.
And under that lighting, she looked 25 years older.
Wow.
It doubled her age.
So she looked hotter in a gas station than she did in In-N-Out burger. Wow.
Hotter in gas station convenience store lighting than she did in In-N-Out burger. Like when she was in In-N-Out burger, she looked like she belonged there.
Yeah.
I was like,
you're like, no one's taking pictures of you. You're not going to Cheesecake Factory.
A manager's not going to come in and go, who's representing you or anything, That's how everyone looks in that light.
I was thinking maybe the sexiest fast food restaurant would probably be maybe Carl's Jr. because at least they have that dining area and it seems like it's a little darker than an In-N-Out burger. There's usually a carpet and stuff.
The dining area where homeless come in and ask you for burgers and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. That's, I mean, I agree with them. Any fast food is probably not a good. Number 9. Okay, we'll lump these together since you're more of an expert on wings than I am. They said never take me to number 9 Buffalo Wild Wings or number 10 Wingstop. Yeah,
they're both basically the same, just different settings. Buffalo Wild Wings, you can sit down, but it's all like they blare whatever game is going on. And if there's not a game going on, it's like really, really loud music. So you're not going to be able to talk to each other at all. And maybe that's a good thing, but usually on a first date, it's not. You want to be able to talk a little bit,
Do they show UFC fights at Buffalo Wild Wings? I feel like that they do.
I think they do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
I think they do. I think it's
the same as they do that at Dave & Buster's too, but at least there it's contained to one area of the place.
Yeah. Next is number 11. Never take me to Red Lobster on a first date.
Okay, well, anyone who says that is an undateable idiot.
Yeah, because isn't that another nice one?
And Red Lobster is great.
Now, you're a guy that doesn't like seafood, but you still found yourself inside of a Red Lobster?
They still have stuff that you can eat. They know that people eat other things, so they have like steak and you can get a chicken dish or, a lot of the appetizers aren't seafood based. And they have the thing that every restaurant should aspire to, which is a dish that people will come there just to get. Like they'll go just to get that one thing.
Yeah.
And that is the Cheddar Bay biscuits, which they make that day by hand. And they're biscuits with like a little bit of seasoning and they have a little bit of cheddar sprinkled into them. They'll bring a basket of those out before you order anything, and they're fantastic.
I went to Cracker Barrel on my Country Bumpkin Activities Day, and I love the pancakes there. And then I was so happy to discover at the store, at the Cracker Barrel store, they sell the pancake mix. And I got to be honest, I bought some, and it tastes good even at home. It wasn't like it lost a step; it was really good. Do you think they sell the Cheddar Bay biscuit mix? And would, if they do, would you buy it and prepare it at home?
They don't sell the mix, I don't think, but they do sell them like in the freezer section. You can just get Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Oh.
Which is great.
It's not the same though, I bet, huh?
It's not. I don't think they're going to be the same. However, if you go to a Red Lobster, I think you can get a dozen of them for like $2.
Oh, that's good.
So you don't even have to.
I'm laughing. I just had this vision. You thought the girl didn't like to go to Red Lobster. Imagine if you surprised her and came from the frozen section at Vaughn's.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I made these biscuits first date. Okay, next one is number 12, a buffet. Never take me to a buffet on a first date.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. Because she's not gonna want to put too much food on her plate. Then the guy might just be like, "Who cares?" And they just might. I'm going back to fourths. You know.
Yeah, if you're just plowing through your fourth plate of mashed potatoes and pot roast.
yeah, and then at the end you do that swirl. Anything. You got the yogurt thing going with the swirl. Like, I mean, oh my gosh, I've definitely. I
want her to get her money's worth. Eat more.
Yeah. Come on, honey. IHOP.
Yeah, no.
Don't tell me.
No.
And Denny's was number 14. IHOP, Denny's first date. Yeah.
IHOP and Denny's are both in the same category of.
Yeah.
That's where you take a date that you don't want to go on.
Ooh, I like that.
Like if someone set you up.
Yeah, and
they're like, you have to go out with Becky. She's great. It's like, okay.
But I don't even know if I could get those words to come out of my mouth. Like, let's go to Denny's. I mean, that's like if you know them already, I figure.
That's what you say to someone to get them to call off the date.
Oh.
Hey, I'll meet you at Denny's at 2:30, and then they'll be like, "No, we're not."
Oh, not even I'll pick you up. It's like I'll meet you at Denny's.
yeah.
I'll meet you at Denny's. Hey, my son, he went with his friends for the first time. They after rehearsals in band, they would go to different restaurants, try out, Bob's Big Boy or whatever, and they went to a Denny's, and he loved it. He'd never been in one before. Apparently, he said that he thought it was. He thought it was going to be like a fast food joint, like when he thought Wendy's and Denny's were like the same sort of thing. So he was pleasantly surprised. He was like, "Wow,
they have seats and tables,
and they have my favorite thing to order, chicken strips."
Yeah, well, in Denny's, they've been doing chicken strips probably longer than anyone in the game.
Exactly,
and so they've got it down by now.
All right, here we go. Now they're switching
buffalo chicken strips too.
Oh yeah, they are. They're good. Denny's is good. I went to one in the Bay Area. Like we were after my gig at the shout out to San Jose. I did the Improv right after Christmas, and my buddy and I were looking for a place to eat. And guess what was open? Denny's, and it was a nice neighborhood. I said let's just go here, and we went in there, and it was packed, and it was good, man. The food was really good. I was like, this is good.
They're usually dependable too. I remember the Denny's you wanted to go to though that was closed. That one time,
yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
You were like, let's go to Denny's. And we went to like 2 different closed Denny's.
I know. Gosh.
But this was during the pandemic. So, what are you going to do?
I know. I hope these things are open longer. I know. And then we went to that one in North Hollywood and I was like it was fine. It was good. But I was a little nervous. I was like, isn't that where there's a lot of homeless people? I'm like, I don't know what's, you're like, dude, there's like one guy.
There's a lot of homeless people.
Yeah. I was like, And then, okay, here we go. Now they're switching gears. They've gone from that kind of vibe to number 15. Never take me on a first date to the gym.
Oh, God. What a horrible, horrible idea. That doesn't even make sense as a date.
I know. It's
so, your plan is to take them where there's definitely going to be people that look better than you.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, even if you're a physical trainer yourself, there's at least one other guy who lives at that gym.
Exactly.
That looks far better than you.
And then the guy, especially if it's I don't like going to gyms. Like I used to go to the boxing gym. That is different because everyone's like, first of all, they have gloves on their hands, so they can't look at their phone. So they're pretty much only working out, and they're taking a quick break to drink some water. Like they're really working out hard. After going to the boxing gym, and then when our boxing gym had closed, And I was like, damn, maybe I have to join a real gym now. And I went to a quote real gym, and I walked in.
Yeah.
It was like everybody was just like sitting, looking at their phone, and like just barely like lifting any weights. I'm like, this isn't motivating me at all. In fact, I don't like the energy in here at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
but even the bottom,
they have those, like weird half outdoor gyms where like it's like they knocked one wall down.
Oh yeah, like those CrossFit type gyms.
Yeah, no, no. What a terrible.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a terrible
Everyone's getting real sweaty and gross.
I know. I don't. Yeah. Even if I'm the only, I've been to a few gyms where I'm the only one in there, and I'm like, this is cool, but part of me is like, okay, get me out there, and it's a nice day in LA, like 75 degrees out there. I should be outside. What am I doing in this dark, smelly like area? Like this is like,
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
I'm always asking myself that. What am I doing in this dark, smelly area?
Never a first date on a gym. Next one is 16. She's like, don't take me on a first date to a church.
Yeah. Good God.
Yeah, that doesn't really have date
what if
vibes.
She's any other religion but yours?
I know. You know? Even if it's the same religion, I'm like, I wouldn't want to go on a first date. Like, it's like,
you don't. I don't think even God wants you dating at church. That's just.
I know. It's like, dude, what do you? Yeah, go get to know someone, and then
I understand those. Like, it's adorable that they have like church socials and stuff like that, and it's okay if you meet someone at something like that.
Right, exactly.
But you don't take them on a date there.
Yeah, you meet them there. Maybe once you get to know each other a little bit, but yeah, the first day, yeah.
That is how cults get started.
Yeah. 17 and 18 are sort of the same thing. She's like, don't ever take me to Starbucks or a coffee date.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. It is, as much as I said earlier, it's good to be able to talk to each other. You're not really going to get to do that much at Starbucks. It's such a like intermingly sort of place.
Yeah. There's people all there, and
it's almost like you're putting on a play if you go on a date there.
Dude, I remember I saw what I assumed was I think I told you this story a while ago. I assumed it was probably a first date, and the lady looked like a crazy nut. She was like really trying to impress the guy, and she was like. She was saying how she had, because it looked like they had their coffee and they're all like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like they're all smiling a lot and giggling and like it's our first date kind of vibe. And she was saying how she had 3 different types of laughs that she does, and then she went on to demonstrate her different types of laughs.
Oh no!
Yeah, she's like, I have my laugh that goes, and then I can do my laugh where I'm like, ha ha ha, and then I have my laugh, and then I was just like, oh my god, and I thought it was so bizarre that I wrote it down in my notes.
I guarantee that any lady who keeps track of the different laughs she has, she also has a lot of different ways of crying.
Yeah.
And she's not going to want to be around for any of those, and different ways of yelling. And, different ways of keying your car.
I have different ways that I key guys' cars when they break up with me.
This is how I boil a bunny. This is.
I have different ways. Yeah. 1 if by
different
land,
ways of burying a body.
2 if by sea. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, never take me on a first date to an ice cream date. No ice cream dates.
I understand that for multiple reasons. It's like maybe a girl doesn't want you to see how she could give you a blowjob before.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be funny. You're like, I'll take mine in a bowl and hers on a cone.
Yeah, and if you have a cone, she probably doesn't want to see how good you give a blowjob.
That's hilarious.
It's like he's really making the most of that ice cream. Holy cow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're like you order an ice cream cone for the lady. Oh my god.
That's more like a second or third date sort of date,
Yeah. But, and back to that coffee thing, coffee is a diuretic, and I would imagine, like, halfway through my cup, I might be like, oh, my God, I have to use the restroom, like, either number 1 or hopefully not number 2 on a first date at a public Starbucks. Yeah. What's the code? I need it now.
Well, at Baskin-Robbins, I don't even know if they have a restroom that you can use. So
my gosh, you're right.
So then you got to go somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, that would play into it. Yeah, you don't want to.
Also, there are things, I think it's real easy to judge someone off of what ice cream they choose.
Yeah, and especially if she uses her
so you may
teeth.
not want that. Yeah.
She's using her teeth. She's like, you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this date's going horrible.
She's serious about ice cream.
Number 20, family functions. Don't take me to a family function on a first date.
Can you imagine what a nightmare that would be? Just reverse it and like.
Oh my gosh, going to her family function on a first date.
The date and you go to like her family reunion. And
oh my gosh.
Like cousin Reggie is there, who you don't know anything about.
You don't know anybody or anything.
Personal questions.
Oh wow! And then
where'd you meet this rascal?
Yeah, how'd you guys meet? Or how do you? And you're like, it's all new. And, oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Next,
you're meeting her dad and her granddad
on a first date. Number 21 is movie night. First date. Don't take me to a movie night. Netflix, Hulu, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff.
Again, that's basically just hooked up.
Yeah.
That like if you're doing it at home. You're just trying to get laid. That's not. It's clearly not a date.
Hey, what do you say? Come over to my place. Yeah. Okay. Number 22. Somewhere that requires a long drive.
Oh yeah. That should just be common sense. But women have dated a lot of douchebags.
Right.
And if you're having her drive out to, even if it's a great place, even like. I love Las Vegas, but I'm not going to have someone drive to Las Vegas to go on a date, Yeah,
or even not even that far. Like if you're like, hey, let's go to Palm Springs or let's go to Santa Barbara. I mean, or in LA, anything can be a long drive depending on the time of day.
The problem is guys think in a way where they don't factor in certain things like a guy. Generally speaking, if a woman is attractive, will drive pretty far.
Yeah.
Like if a really hot girl in San Diego wanted me to meet her tonight for dinner, I would drive to San Diego. Yes. I'd be like, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
For a girl, it's a whole different thing. It's if I drive out there and my car breaks down, I'm going to get hit on by the cop, the tow truck, the mechanic, anyone there. Yeah. Everyone's trying to bang them on the way to wherever they're going.
I know.
And so it becomes a dangerous ordeal, for them, it's not a date, it's an action movie. All of a sudden they have to be like John Wick.
Especially if there's
all the penises that are coming at them,
And if they're that hot, they're probably getting all these options all the time. They don't need to go to,
Right. And it's like, even if they do, why would you send them on a journey like that when there's places nearby that you could go?
And the next one is never take me on a first date to bowling.
I disagree with that one.
I do
too. Because bowling gives you a lot of options. There's the bowling itself, which nobody really cares about, but it can be fun. And if they're against fun, then why would you want to date them? There's usually an arcade, and you can play like pinball and stuff together, and old video games. There's almost always a bar, so if you feel like notching it up to having a drink together, you can do that very easily. And there's junk food, which you can have a little junk food, and then you can do. I'm a big believer in like extending a date if it's going well. You can get like onion rings there and go, hey, if you're actually hungry, why don't we? I know this other like good place to eat instead.
Yeah, it's called Chili's, man. They've got these fajitas.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. Hey, you want to swing by church real quick for the first date after we bowl? Yeah, it's a family function. No.
Like bowling really does give you a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think bowling's a great. And then I think it's great. You're right. It's fun. They got usually good music's playing. There's like a jukebox.
And also, you don't have to be good at it. I think that's part of the worry. Is they're like, oh, he's going to see me bowl badly. There's nothing more adorable than someone bowling badly.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't make you like them less.
Exactly. And you can still look nice. You're not going to get all sweaty and stuff. I mean, you know, especially on one game, or two games.
Yeah, exactly.
Next is nightclubs. Don't take me to nightclubs or a hookah bar.
Yeah, I don't want to go to those anyway.
I don't either. Nightclubs for me, it's too loud. Okay, there's no point in it. And like you said, it's almost like the gym. There's going to be better looking people there. So why? And it's so loud you can barely talk. Hookah bar, I'm not into that, and it's smoky.
Here's the thing with clubs, and they weren't always like this, but they're like this now. Any place that you have to pay for the privilege of just being there, I'm out. You know, it's like, I get it if like I'm going there and there's going to be live music or comedy or some sort of show going on. That's one thing. But if you're paying $20 just to walk in the door, nope. Keep it, you know. And also any place that you have to yell at each other to have a conversation.
Yeah, I'm not. We're almost done with the list. We got next a bar just for drinks, Waffle House, and the last one is sports events.
Waffle House is more like it's more like where you go if you meet someone at a party. You know, like you met a great girl at a party and it's like, hey, you want to go to Waffle House? Just,
yeah.
You know, that it's more of that kind of vibe. But yeah, definitely not a first date place. I think it's a fun sort of place, but not a date at all. You know. And what was the other ones?
Sporting events.
Yeah, the only sporting event I would take someone to on a date, and it would have to be someone that I really already felt like a good vibe with, would be I would take a girl to a pro wrestling match.
Oh, yeah. See, that's like entertainment.
Because that's so far out of left field from what a date should be.
Yeah.
That I think it would actually be a lot of fun. Especially for someone if they don't go to that kind of thing regularly. Like there's a thing honestly that I want to do, not just as a date, but like I would get a group together to go do it, but it's called underground kaiju wrestling.
What's that?
What it is, and I'm glad you asked, it's two wrestlers, but they're dressed up like giant monsters. So like the most basic example would be like one guy's dressed as King Kong and another guy's dressed as Godzilla.
I could picture that.
And in the ring, they have a big cardboard city.
Oh, wow.
So when they get like slammed on the mat, they're crushing buildings and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Little like army men and stuff. But at the really good ones, they do it in Japan a lot. They don't do it a lot here, but a few places have. The costumes have gimmicks, like the Godzilla will breathe fire, or, you know, like the King Kong, his eyes will light up or something. But when you come in the door, they give you like a plastic bag full of stuff. And in that bag is things like model airplanes, or like little army men with parachutes.
Oh, wow.
Or different stuff like that you can throw into the ring to support the wrestler that you want to support.
Wow.
You know, and so you'll see like your little parachute guy land in the ring and then the guy will eat it or something like that, you know. And so it's a lot of fun. And I was like, if you take someone on a date to that and they have a terrible time, you're definitely not meant for each other, you know.
What's it called again?
Kaiju wrestling.
I'm gonna look it up. How do you spell it? Kaiju?
Kaiju, and then wrestling.
Wow. Let me ask you this: have you been to one of these before, and how did you discover it?
I discovered it through, I think, TikTok. Someone put up a TikTok of people doing it, and I was like, that looks great.
Oh yeah, Kaiju Big Battle.
Yeah, because it's mostly underground, it's very hard to find matches, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's like an official website, Kaiju Big Battle official website. Yeah, I'm sure you would just put Kaiju Wrestling near me or something, and maybe it'll. Oh yeah,
but yeah,
Pennsylvania, like that's popping up. Yeah, but anyways, That's fun. You know, there's a parade in Pasadena. I think it's called the Doodah Parade. Doodah Parade, yeah. And you throw things at the people in the parade. Like it's supposed to be like an oddball parade. It's wacky, and they give you like stacks and stacks of like tortillas to like frisbees. Like, and you throw it, and it's fun and it's wacky. And I remember we did that, and we're like, you could do this. Like, is this okay to do? Like, we can. And they bring tortilla, and you like literally fling them, and it's super fun.
That sounds cool.
It was fun, man. I was like,
anything where you can participate a little is more fun.
It sure is, man. Well, Mike, that was a great episode today. I just want to say thank you for coming on. I knew you'd have a ball doing this with me, man. This is and I'd have a ball doing it with you. In closing, do you have anything you'd? I know. Let me ask you a quick wrestling question. If someone were to look up like a great moment in wrestling on YouTube today, what's a moment, something that's happened that we're like, oh man, if people got to see this, whatever that would be, maybe.
The most obvious one is Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, where he actually lifted Andre the Giant over his head, and that was, I forget which one, but it was a WrestleMania, and they've interviewed Hulk Hogan since, and that was like kind of the passing the torch moment, because Andre was retiring. And Hulk Hogan, they made him like the World Wrestling Federation champion when that happened. And he said in the interview, he was like, nobody's lifting Andre without his help. So he kind of like jumped into the air to help me. But even with his help, at his weight being uneven and everything, I ripped every ligament in my back.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
And he was up for maybe half a second, and then I slammed him down. Oh
my gosh!
That was like, if that hadn't happened, wrestling would have probably died when Andre retired, because they needed to see that someone could beat him.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's probably the greatest moment. But
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, anything with George the Animal Steel is worth looking up to, because that guy was crazy and just amazing.
That's cool. I've been listening to this country music podcast, and they talk about the history of different artists like George Jones or Buck Owens, and I love listening to that stuff. But he also adds like other like historical facts, and they'll talk about bullfighting and things like that, and it kind of has the same elements as you start seeing these elements repeated over and over, like these giant shows that attract lots of people and they withstand the test of time, and it carries over. Like back in the day, like the kings and queens would dress a certain way. And then eventually the bullfighters started doing, like they said, it used to be illegal for a person, if you weren't like at a top level in society, to wear any threads with silver or gold in it. And then it became a thing where, it's almost like stolen valor, like you're not a dignitary. Why are you wearing those clothes? And if you look at like wrestling and the bright colors and what people did, or even like musical stars, like with the rhinestones and the, that fabulous way of dressing and, costumes and whatnot and stuff. So, I was thinking about that. But, Mike, I want to thank you again for coming on the Pocket Party podcast, and we'll do it again soon. And hey, have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too, buddy. Have a great day.
You got it, buddy. Bye. Well, look at you. You made it all the way through. Thank you again for checking out the Pocket Party podcast. Again, I'm coming to Brea, California, El Paso, Texas, Alameda, California. If you want to help us out, tell people about this podcast, share the links, the Apple link, the Spotify link, and subscribe. That way you'll always know when a new episode's coming out. And I appreciate you guys. If you want to make a donation, you know how to do it. All right, buddy. We'll see you later. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Have a great rest of your day. Darren Carter, the party starter. We out.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.